All right, we are live. Welcome to another Sunday live stream. Today we're going to be doing some exploration of Kali Linux Purple Edition. This is a brand new edition for 2023. In last night's stream, I did an install of the standard Kali Linux, and I did an install of Purple before this live stream started, and so we'll poke around in it and see a few things that are different. So let me get a little bit prepped here, and we'll jump over, and here we are on Kali Linux Purple running in Proxmox. So the big thing, besides the background image that tips you off that you're running Purple, obviously it says Purple here. Okay, let me turn off the music. Thank you for the reminder on that. Obviously the background says Kali Purple on it. But the other thing that's going to tip you off if somebody's changed the background is the 5 new categories here in the menu. Now, some of these are going to have duplicate tools in them that you would also find in the normal Kali distribution, but there are some defensive security specific tools available. So many of these I have not explored yet. So if anybody in the audience has explored these, or if you'd like me to make a video dedicated to one of these, let me know either in the comments during the live stream or in the chat during the live stream and the comments after the live stream, so that I can make sure to cover those tools specifically. So under identify, we've got AMAS, we've got Asset Finder, a Cisco auditing tool. I don't have any Cisco gear to audit, so that doesn't do me much good. Defect Dojo. Likely if you're going to be looking for bugs in a program, that may be where that's going. Again, I have not looked deeply into these. Some of them I've heard of, some of them are brand new to me. So Defect Dojo start and stop. We've got a honeypot. We've got Maltego, which I know has existed in previous versions of Kali just fine. Miriam, Nipper, OSR Framework. We've got Searchsploit. That might be an interesting one. Let's see. Make this a little bit bigger so maybe we can all see it. Searchsploit, the options. So basically you're searching for exploits for software or for a specific CVE. Or a Linux kernel version, and options for outputting those. So that could be a fun tool to play with. I'm sure there are things that I can set up here in the home lab to make that possible to do a video on, test it out a bit. Spiderfoot. It's a Python file. This is open source intelligence automation, so OSINT. that we've talked about a little bit before. So that could be a nice thing to play with. Again, you can use these tools and find out some of these tools to find out, what information is out there about you. Because, knowledge is power, and if you know what's out there, then you know how to handle some of that, and maybe perhaps get some of that information taken down. Witness me. Number of concurrent browser tabs to open. This can cause huge RAM consumption. So, yeah, that one doesn't give a big amount of description of what it does, just the options mainly. So, under Protect, we've got Firewall Builder, Crypt Setup, and Clam Antivirus. For Detect, Grok EVT, AdLog, Build Database, Find Logs, Parse Log, RIP DLL, and SentRipper, Ripier, I suppose. Respond has a number of tools. Wireshark is in there, which I think most of us are familiar with. MacTime Sleuth Kit, ILS Sleuth Kit. Some of these. I'm just going to have to look up, and we're going to have to take a look at some of these in more detail. Joe. Yeah, we were kind of just here. This is the purple variant of Kali. We're just looking at some of the tools in the additional menus that they have added for this particular variant. We've got Rootkit Hunter, we've got NetSniff Next Generation, Packet Sniffing Beast. Some of these don't have tooltips. So Yara is another one I'm not familiar with. Wrong number of arguments. Okay, well, that's not very descriptive. There's a quote. See if I can get this somewhat correct. Unix is user friendly. It's just picky about who it's user friendly to. I think it's something around that is how the quote goes. DD Rescue. I believe that's the version of DD I was thinking of as far as for making forensic backups. I may be mistaken. I know there's variants of DD that are used in making forensic copies of disks. ext3 grep, ext4 magic. So working with different Linux file systems. ext undelete. So if you want to recover files from a Linux file system, MyRescue, Recover DM, Recover JPEG, Scrounge NTFS. List all drive partition information. So that could be useful. Um, hmm. I'm rather interested. TVJ is in the house. Welcome. Thank you for stopping in, even if you can't stay. I appreciate your support dropping in like this. I have a little confession to make, TVJ. I fell asleep during your last stream. I think it's probably because I streamed for an hour and a half before yours. So I've had to go back and rewatch a majority of the last stream or two. Um, so not sure I want to continue doing that right before your stream on Monday nights, but if I can come up with a recorded video this afternoon to release tomorrow, then I won't do that. I might put it off until Tuesday. So we'll see. All right. So, of course, with Purple, Kali Purple, you've got your normal tools that are available in the regular version of Kali. And as you can see, some of these are duplicates, web vulnerability scanners, and again, more command line tools that would take some researching to get up to speed on. So, but yeah, this is an interesting addition. I think right now they're considering Purple to be somewhat of a preview release. It's an initial release, and there are always going to be bugs in initial releases in any software that you use. And so, you know, if you've got a machine you can run VMs on, give it an install, test it out. You know, and if you find some bugs, report it back to the team. Make the project better. That's what the part of what the Linux community is all about, you know? So let's see. David is in the chat. Welcome, David. If I missed you earlier. Joe, of course, is here. And Brian has been here since the start. So I think that accounts for my 4 viewers at the moment. So, yeah. I didn't get as much prep work as I had intended to done this morning. I woke up with a bit of a toothache, and so I was trying to relieve the pain from that. So I'll be making an appointment with my dentist here very soon. I think I lost a crown or something, and I've got an exposed nerve. So right now I have been taking some ibuprofen, and that has been cutting things so that I'm comfortable. But something I don't want to wait on. I want to get this taken care of. I also spent part of the morning gathering tax documentation so I can get that sent off to my guy that handles doing my taxes, because I just I don't want to do them anymore. So my financial advisor does them, and uh, it's just easier to let him do it. And since he knows the ins and outs of things better, and even using tax software, there are things that could get missed. Let's see. We've got Matt Perry in the house. Welcome, Matt. Have you ever done anything with DevStack on Proxmox? I'm trying to keep my private IP network as an external network with DevStack, and I'm having a heck of a time. Honestly, no. I've not done anything with DevStack on Proxmox or otherwise. Okay, so it's for OpenStack. I wondered if that's what it was about. That, unfortunately, I cannot be much help on at the moment. I would be starting from zero on something like this. And while OpenStack definitely interests me, my couple of attempts to try to get it set up have crashed and burned miserably up to this point. So, if anybody in the chat has dealt with OpenStack or DevStack specifically, let Matt know, and maybe we can all help each other out. And yeah. I haven't done my own taxes in 16 years since I do a lot of freelance work. Nice. So I think right now the one tax document I'm trying to put my fingers on, and I know I received it, and actually might be sitting right here. Bear with me for just a moment. I may have found the culprit that I was searching for earlier. Which would make me very happy if this was it. Okay, 1099 miscellaneous, and that sure looks like it. I am assuming that XXVI Holdings is Google / YouTube / AdSense. The address is in Mountain View, California, so I'm pretty sure this is the one I was looking for. Haha, I found it. Makes me happy. Now all I have to do is scan it and make a once through pass on some bank statements, and I can be done with my taxes and send it off to my guy. So, all right. Yeah. So we've got the two versions of Kali. Obviously, this is the vanilla version, which you can see the similarities, 1 through 13 here, and in purple you've actually got 1 through 14, 14 being the system services. So good things in here. So Let's see. We got Rootkit Hunter. I thought they had at least a few graphical applications in here, but I'm striking out trying to find them today. Is Maltego, is that another command line one? Oh, here we go. Maltego Community Edition. Maltego CEs, the Community Edition. Community transforms will be installed and can be run to generate graphs, but the features are limited and the resulting graphs may not be used for commercial purposes. Obviously, the higher versions need to be purchased, and I'm guessing that there's going to be some sticker shock on these. €1,000 for the Pro, which is they don't list Pro. Pro is not currently available for resale. Up to 64,000 results per transform. Obviously, they expect the resolution to be a little higher because we've got overlapping options in the bookmarks bar or favorites bar or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's see, US dollars. They have matched the pricing, even though there's a little bit of an exchange rate difference. Interesting. Curious what happens if we go with Maltego 1. Let's see if we can get... Okay, so that brings us back to Maltego Pro. Yeah. So I suppose if you're doing that kind of work on a regular basis, that makes sense. But as I've mentioned before, there are a lot of good tools in here. Of course, Wireshark, which is going to complain. Oh, maybe not. We can capture network traffic. And there are limitations to using Wireshark this way. Obviously, it would be much more effective if you were using it, for instance, on a laptop plugged into a switch with port mirroring turned on. You could capture a lot more traffic and make it much more interesting to look at. So Maltego again, Spiderfoot, vulnerability analysis, Zap, a CLI tool. No. Wow. Okay. OWASP Zap. Want to persist the session with name based on current timestamp. Let's do that one. Just for the sake of argument. Okay. Installed. We got Marketplace. Some beta stuff. Active scanner rules. Let's see what we can do here. Update. Well, manage add-ons. Let's just close that. Okay. Run an automated scan against your application. URL to attack. So again, you would want to set up, if you're going to use this and you're not on an engagement, you would want to set up perhaps using Cloudflare tunnels so that you're running an attack on a machine on your network. Now, there could potentially still be issues doing that. So even better would be to run a certificate authority on your network and use local DNS to allow you to do this completely in the confines of your own network. But yeah, there are some interesting things here. So again, that's a tool I've heard of, but not used, so be rather interesting to see what could be done with that, and how it could be set up to do it completely on an isolated network. NetSniff NG. So yeah. Again, a while back, a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was, I posed a poll in my community tab on the channel asking what people really thought about version numbers. Because there are a lot of open source tools out there that are not at the 1.0 mark. But again, it's worth taking into consideration that the open source community has a different and varying methodology for version numbers on a given project. And that's different than what you find in the commercial software world. And that's, worth taking into consideration. So that's Cali Purple. Again, we've just sort of scratched the surface, and you know, taking a look at a few tools, but this definitely warrants some deeper exploration. And that might be one of the things that will happen in a video or live stream later this week. So, yeah, let me switch over here for a minute. All right, so just for the sake of argument, I know I showed a little bit off of this last night. Let's see, dashboard. Okay, so 2, and then we'll put myself on up here in the corner. Subscribers is steadily increasing. I'm happy with that. YouTube is reporting that I have 26% more views than usual in the last 28 days. Curious to see what it's looking like in the last 7. 8% more than previous 7 days. 11% more watch time, but 23% less on subscribers. Hopefully this is all going to even out a bit at the end of the month. But yeah, this is steady improvement. Just trying to figure out that one video topic that might have a chance to get some bigger notice. And I had thought that some of the new fog videos would catch on a little bit quicker. The install video is doing all right. It's above my average for sure, and that is looking straight up. So we'll see how that does. And that's gained me 1 subscriber so far. The initial video also gained me 1 subscriber, 286 views, and that's also been out less than a week. So things are progressing. Things are progressing. So for the other content creators in the audience, here's a question for you. How much are you promoting your videos and live streams on other social media platforms? Do you post on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Mastodon? How are you getting noticed, or are you just doing strictly YouTube via their notifications and community posts and things of that nature? I've been using this tool called Buffer, and I do put out notifications on Mastodon, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook page. I have been considering doing a Facebook group instead. and potentially simulcast streaming to Facebook as well as YouTube. I may experiment with that at some point in the future. Let's see. David says, not at all lately. I only tried Instagram and Twitter for a while with almost no following added. Yeah, I know I've got a few people that are liking my posts on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Mastodon I haven't been doing long enough to really notice anything. But I'm not really a big microblog proponent. I was not terribly impressed with things going on at Twitter, so I dumped my Twitter account and I jumped over to Mastodon instead. I do answer all comments and prime additional questions with the same respondents. Yeah, I try to do the same. A lot of the time I'm noticing, however, that when I put the person on the spot and ask them a question via the comment section on a video, they never respond. I had one person, when I did the video on Black Buntu, which was, another one of the security oriented Linux distributions, they said they wanted to see more videos on it. And I said, can you give me an idea of what specifically you'd like to see demonstrated? And crickets. So I've very much worked to engage with people, especially when they, are making comments that could lead to tailored content based on their feedback. But it's difficult. I'm not a mind reader, as I'm sure all the men have told their wives before, or significant others, in whatever case that might come in. I have posted on Reddit a couple times, but that's it. So, all right. Well, that's good to know. I'm always on the lookout for new places to post. I'm not a big Reddit user. Oops. I'm not even sure. Do I have an account? I guess I do still have an account. So am I the a-hole? Some of those stories are rather interesting. So yeah, I don't know why they would suggest gymnastics and figure skating to me. Right. As you can see, I don't use Reddit very often. Joe, do you know which subreddit you're posting in that has worked for you? I don't know if I mean, our home lab might be an interesting one to drop a comment in. Made the jump 100% replace desktop gaming rig with a Proxmox VM. Our sysadmin, our home lab, Just a bunch of nodes, no high availability. Betty, Loki, Teddy, Tootsie Roll, and Twizzler. That's great. Oh, 216 CPUs, 503 gigabytes of RAM, and 4 terabytes of storage. Very interesting. Blue Iris, gotcha. I do not like the admins on Reddit, power mongers. Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about most forum type locations on the interwebs. A few people get power, and unless you buddy up with them, you're gonna have a rough time. And this is, based on 27, 28 years of being online and being online daily. I have received a following from the Zigmanas forum due to my responses, responses and suggestions. Well, that's good to know. Blue Iris. When your support plan ends, so do updates. Can someone please help me with how to set up WireGuard or OpenVPN for remote access? That's interesting. Yeah. Tailscale. Although zero tier would be an equally easy way to set it up. All right. Well, interesting stuff there. I'm Wise Substream in Blue Iris. Interesting. That's one I might have to join. Who knows when I'll be back in Reddit? Yeah, I tend not to. I'm assuming you haven't been in dating mode for a long time since you have mentioned being married. So, is there a fog? That's a good question. Our fog. I'm guessing that's not the fog I'm thinking of. Waves of fog pouring in. Fog project. Updated 3 years ago. 4 months ago. So that may be a possibility to post in here. Am I joined to that one? I am now. I may have to read up on this a bit. So I'm surprised they didn't have an announcement posting about the new version of Fog. Not in over 40 years. How about Linux distros? Kali Linux. Two hours ago. Ooh. Every time I start the Burp Suite browser in Kali, this message pops up. Kali Purple Rice. People are at it already. Linux, Kali Linux NetHunter, not HetHunter, NetHunter on Termux goes to gray screen after log on VNC server. So NetHunter is the companion that runs on Android phones. So, yeah. AWUS036AC. Yeah, well, that's the same old problems. Some of this stuff is interesting. Okay, well, my bad managers above me in my day job start to develop tics after a while from the battering. Nice. Yeah. So, I'll have to play around with Reddit a little bit more. I'm sure there's, yeah, Ubuntu, Ubuntu Mate, Ubuntu Server. Budgie has its own version. They have a DDE version, even, which is the Deepin desktop environment. 15 days ago, looks like, was the last post. Ubuntu Server, that should be a fairly popular one. 8 days ago, Setup Saturday event. As wished by the community, we are now showcasing your setups once a month on the 2nd, you guessed it, Saturday. What hardware are you using? CPU, RAM number, and type of drives, disk space, and everything you want to share. Single OS, container cluster, what makes it special, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's cute. So what was the other one? There's r slash Unix porn is an interesting one. It's not graphic in any way. It is people that have customized their desktops. Fuzzy Bubbles, Manjaro, Ubuntu, Not awful looking. Zoran. Interesting wallpapers. GNU is not Unix. The power to compile is in your hands. Install Gentoo. Closest I've got to Gentoo is Slackware. And that was many moons ago. Let's see. What do we have? Interesting. Little anime action happening there, I guess. I think I like this one better of the two. Arch wallpaper series. I use Arch, by the way. Let's see. That's kind of cool. So yeah, there are some interesting things out here. It's been a while since I've been on Reddit, and it's very, shall we say, sporadic when I do go to Reddit. It's usually looking up something, and then I don't use it again for 6 months. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I'll have to play with some things some more. Hopefully I can do a recorded video this afternoon to release tomorrow. And then I think the plan will be to move the continuation of well, actually we finished three live streams. Guess I can go there. We finished 3 live streams 3 Mondays in a row on Linux commands. So my intention this week was to start taking what we learned in those 3 sessions and start doing a little bit of shell scripting. So that will be interesting. I'm going to dig up a backup script that I built a couple of years ago that I'm still using. And we'll dust that off and play around with it a little bit. And potentially look at some other examples and things that people might see again in this upcoming Linux class that I've been working on building. And that is I'd originally planned it for the end of March. That was my goal originally. I'm now targeting mid-April to get at least some sort of a beta early testing, give me feedback type of version of it out. I'm also working on writing up some of the um, example material to go with it. I'm going to be using the same reference material that I used for the 3 live sessions, that LPI Linux Essentials document. I feel like that's a good, make the jump over if you've been a Windows user. It makes the jump over to Linux. Doesn't give you a lot of the fluffy, history of Unix background that so many Linux courses go into. The goal, based on some of the feedback I've got leading up to working on this class, the goal is to have a course for people that are proficient in, say, Windows or Mac OS, and ease their transition over. I'm assuming it's going to be mostly Windows users coming over, or Windows users who may be using Windows Subsystem for Linux. I am going to test my examples and make sure that I can know if something will or will not run on Windows Subsystem for Linux. Because, again, this idea of meeting people where they're at. And if people have a Windows 10 or 11 system and they don't want to try to install a Linux VM, then they can install WSL and, launch their command line and start following examples. With Mac OS, it's much easier. You just pop open a terminal and you've got practically the same environment that you're going to have on a Linux system. I say practically because, differences between ZSH and Bash, but those are not difficult to overcome, and you can always either change your shell in Mac OS or either temporarily or permanently. And that's all in good. You've also always got the option of creating a second user on your Mac and using that user as a dedicated space to play for the course. So that's sort of the plan, the working plan. And of course, this is going to be one of those types of classes where periodically I will add additional lessons and other documentation to it, or reference material. There's so much free stuff out there. Sometimes for people getting started, it's good to just have a place you can go and find some of that stuff that might be quicker than a Google search. And, why reinvent the wheel? If I've already done the searching and know where to find some of this stuff, then, I'll save some people the headache. And I have to admit, this is a different approach to the feedback I received when I started using Linux 25 years ago, a little over 25 years ago. And people would just respond with RTFM, read the fine manual. Or, if you know what the other variation on that is. But, you know, that just made me more determined to find the information I needed on my own. And um, yeah, that's part of what's led me to where I'm at today with my approach to researching problems. And um, yeah, that's that, I guess. So, do we have any questions or comments from the chat? I'm interested in seeing where people might want to take the conversation if people are still hanging out, and if people are still tired from my late night stream last night. That's understandable. I'm a little tired myself today. How about what I heard from other Unix gurus? KTRRO. Seems like you mentioned that to me once before. It seems like I should know that. Well, that's not coming back with anything useful. Keep the riffraff out. Yeah, that's a good one. So, yeah. Um, Switch back over to the Proxmox. So on this node, I've got the fog server up and running still. The two Kali installs, and then the magic is sort of happening over on node 1, where I've got this VM labeled demo server is actually where my Docker containers are running. I did at least the initial setup over here using DocStarter, which is one of the easiest ways I've seen to get up and running with Docker. So, but that's been fun. Yeah, we've got Uptime Kuma running. Um, 3001. Is that not the... Oh, is that 40? I was thinking about the last number on my machine at work. So everything I've got set up in here is sitting at 100%. I haven't even done a status page yet. I've got other things I want to add to this, of course, but um, right now it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Um, what else have we got on here? Portainer, the Cloudflare daemon is running on here. Speed test tracker. No. Speed test tracker, port 9000. No, that's Portainer. Uh, 80, 80, 90, 90. Let's try that. Let's see. Do we have... No. I do not remember what I set up as my credentials for that. But anyway, speed test tracker. This is the newer version. And it's the Alex Justesen version. And 11.11 is the newest version. So he's taken what the previous guy had written and sort of abandoned, and he's put a new UI on it. But basically this does periodic speed tests for your internet connection, and gives you some information to go by if you have to deal with your ISP and their shenanigans and trying to tell you that the issue is on your end, which often it's not. But, you know, they don't want to admit to that. So, yeah. Let's see. Did I do... No, not that one. Not that one. Well, let me try something else. No. So I might have to reinstall that. No harm, no foul. That's what I get for not logging into these things more often. But yeah. So I don't know what I've got on this server then. This may have just been a server I spun up for doing Linux commands on, just for the sake of having something non-mission critical that other things were running on. But it doesn't look like there's too much going on here at all. CPU usage is almost nothing. Memory usage is only 214 megabytes, which is not bad. Nextcloud is still up and running. Okay. All right. So here's another question for the other content creators in my audience currently. If people are still out there. When you do a live stream, what have you found to be more effective? Have you scheduled them well in advance and have the video sitting out there as an upcoming? Hey Jacob, welcome to the party. Do you let your live streams sit out there as an upcoming, or do you schedule them day of and you know, what tends to work better for you? The reason I ask, not that one, not that one. The reason I ask is that we've got the currently active stream here, and I've already got next week's stream scheduled, and I had both these scheduled at least a week before, and just trying to gauge a little bit what people have found to be more effective. So I can't say that the number of viewers is drastically higher having these scheduled earlier than what it is when I do it the morning of the live stream. So I just was curious what other people have found, and you know, if it really makes a difference or not. From what I've seen thus far, I don't think it makes much of a difference. So, but, you know, as always, I like to try to solicit the input of my viewers and subscribers. So, let's see. What else? Okay, so be right back. And see what my code is. I am liking this Cloudflare tunnels access. Um, well, this is going to take a moment. Unless I can do it this way. Okay. Um, do that. So I've not done a lot of configuring on this instance of Nextcloud. But, oops. Have been playing a little bit with the news feeder, or news reader, I should say. So, for instance, if I put in oops, that's not what I wanted. So you have RSS feeds with your YouTube channel URL. And so if I wanted to keep track of new videos this way, I could. And so there we've got Learn Blue Iris, and yeah, there are things that are kind of interesting here. So unread articles is going to be the full list of all of them. You can also do folders and different things in here. I've not done nearly as many as you have. However, I get more comments and likes when they are scheduled ahead of time, and some set a reminder. That's kind of what I had been under the impression of, but I haven't seen that come to fruition yet. All of those are supposed to make the algorithm happy with your channel. Yep. I'm trying to put all these things in place. I really am. And, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. You know, there are days that I wonder if I wouldn't have been better starting a new channel and trying to build faster. Knowing what I know now, you know, when I made that first video for YouTube back in 2014. It was just sort of a one-off video. I had zero concept of video editing or audio editing, or and it didn't have a thumbnail for a number of years before I put one on it retroactively. I think I've got thumbnails on all my videos now, but a lot of them are not terribly impressive thumbnails. And I have taken some content off. I've added some of the content back on just because I took such a hit in views. But little adjustments here and there, and you learn as you adjust, and move on and try to move forward as best you can, right? So there are other fun applications. I've only got a few applications on here in Nextcloud. So this is a Kanban type applications, kind of like Trello and some of those other ones out there. There's activities, photos. I don't think I've got anything on here. That's all the stock photos, files. Again, I don't think I've got anything associated with this account. And then the dashboard, which of course you can customize the dashboard and add additional widgets. But yeah, I mean, the analytics might be interesting. So yeah, I guess that is what I wanted to cover for today. Hopefully people got something out of this. It was kind of fun. Oh, Reddit integration. That could be fun. They got Twitter integration. And I saw Mastodon up here closer to the top. So yeah, some of this stuff could be kind of interesting. But let's see if we can get back to the dashboard and see what our new analytics. And it doesn't look like it's showing up yet. Our new analytics widget. Or reports. Reports, that's what we wanted. Yeah, I think that's it. Add a report to the favorites to be shown here. So, something else I'll have to play with, I guess. Flexible visualization. Interesting. Yeah, that's something I'll have to dig into further. But, there's a lot you can do with Nextcloud. And I'll probably be doing an updated video on it, especially with doing Cloudflare tunnels. It is I'm getting this installed to the point where I can consider taking down my older install that's actually living in the cloud and bringing it internal. So that's been one of my goals for this year. Hopefully by the end of the first quarter, that will be accomplished, and then I'll be saving myself $60 a year. The Cloudflare tunnels was the missing piece of the puzzle that I really wanted to have in order to run the server internally. So I'm pretty happy with the way that has worked so far. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate each and every one of you that has been supporting me during this crazy month of daily content. It has definitely made things more tolerable for me trying to put the content out by having, the little extra comments and words of encouragement. And so I just want to take a moment. Thank you all for that. I'm trying to thank people more and show my appreciation in the hopes that, hey, maybe people will spread the word and, share a video every now and then, because that all comes back and helps the channel, and sharing a link doesn't cost you anything. And, helps keep the channel moving. So on that note, everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, and I will be back in one way or another tomorrow with some new content, whether it's recorded or live. Be on the lookout. So thank you once again. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you in the next video.